Hi, I'm Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about my life. Today, I'm telling you guys about everything. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
What is the dog doing? What is that?
Okay, it wasn't that bad. And why were you kids cheering? What? Now you gonna talk? Now you gonna talk? Tell me, give me a good reason.
Because you're ugly.
I guess that's a good reason. But you guys didn't have to be that harsh. You didn't have to. Anyway, back to the video.
So, I've always struggled with seeing myself as a lot lesser than I actually am. I have been dealing with that since I was very little. But in 8th grade, I kind of took a turn. But it wasn't a good turn. It was definitely a turn for the worse. See, I didn't see myself as being too little. I saw myself as being too big. Yes, in this sense. And I made this image kind of for it to be a little funny. But back then, if you would have showed me this in 8th grade, I really wouldn't have seen a huge difference. I would have saw myself as the person on the left and the right. So I made the decision to start counting all my calories and eating a lot lighter and a lot less food. I became very familiar with apps like MyFitnessPal, and I started looking at YouTube videos of how to lose weight, really fast. And I let the scale control me. I let the scale tell me a lot of things. The scale told me that I wasn't good enough. I shouldn't be talking to people. Nobody would want to talk to me because I was too heavy. No one wants to see me. But it was me. It was a scale that was holding me back. It was nothing to do with my weight. And that's sad to look back at now.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a break from using pictures because
I'm lazy.
But anyways, so I went into my freshman year, just cutting slowly but surely all the calories out of my diet, eventually skipping breakfast, skipping lunch, skipping dinner, and only eating an orange to make up for any calories, because I thought that was enough. And I thought I was doing a great thing with my life, just eating one orange and running 4 or 5 miles a day. And yeah, I thought that was a great thing. I thought that was an accomplishment. So I kept that up for, October to February. So October, November, December, January, February. For 5 months. And I thought I was doing perfectly fine, perfectly healthy things. I was looking skinny. I lost 15 to 20 pounds.
Okay, so at that time, I was 125 pounds, being the same height as I am now, which is 5'10 and a half. This website won't let me put the half, which honestly is kind of hurtful because the half means a lot because I'm not that short. But at that time, my BMI was 17.95. And if you don't know, any BMI that's below 18.5 is considered underweight.
Now looking back at it, it's sad to think that I thought being classified as being underweight was an accomplishment. And it took me until February 2017, so the end part of my freshman year, to realize that what I was doing was unhealthy. Because at the end of February was our first track meet where we were running the 4x800. I was a third leg. I ran my first 400 really well, and then after that, I ran my next 400 inside the 8, and everything started to get blurry, dark. I started to stumble, and then as soon as I finished and passed the baton off, I went to the grass and I collapsed. From here, I was sent to the ER, where I was had my blood taken, and they did some labs, and they told me that a lot of the people who had similar labs would have went into cardiac arrest and possibly would have died.
And the idea of death was terrifying to me because I definitely know it was not my time to go, at least yet. So I started to eat a lot more and definitely a lot healthier just so I can kind of trick my brain into thinking that I'm not eating. And I felt, to be honest, pretty great. I just avoided the scale at all costs. I avoided any kind of calorie counter, and I avoided mirrors. So all I had to base myself off on was if I felt good and if I felt healthy, which I didn't feel when I was so skinny. and that helped me so much.
After pretty much all of that, I started to feel very confident and strong and happy with myself, to the point where I could actually think that I was okay going talking to people and feeling like they're not going to judge me and stuff like that. Because during that time I realized that nobody else was really looking at me or judging me other than myself. Like, absolutely nobody was. And it took that entire long process to realize that, but I eventually came around to it, and I started to feel more okay with just talking to people and trying to be friends with them. And now I genuinely have friends that I enjoy hanging out with and stuff, and it's a great time. We went from being a very shy and quiet freshman
To a very confident person who's able to just look in the mirror and be happy with himself, which is so hard to do. And I couldn't have done it without, obviously, a little bit of therapy, but mainly just all my friends and just loved ones who've been here supporting me through this whenever I need it. A lot of them being here since day one and sticking around since day one, helping me just avoid ever being this skinny and just this unhealthy ever again. And I really can't thank them enough for everything.
They all really helped me realize that being that skinny and having that mentality was so unhealthy for me, and I shouldn't try to continue to do that. I shouldn't want to look like I'm just skin and bones. And I really could not have made that realization kind of without their help. I couldn't have made any progress I did without any of my friends and family's help. And they all really helped me change really for the better. And I'm saying really so much. I can't thank them enough for helping me come to that realization and knowing that I'm perfectly fine the way I am. And even if I'm not looking the way I want to look, that I can always improve myself in a better and a healthier way. And I don't know what I'd do without them.
I also realized that without being at a healthy weight, I would have never accomplished everything that I've accomplished in the athletics that I just love to do. I would never have gotten as far as I did in swim. I would never have done as good as I did in track. And that's wild. Also, if you asked me in 8th grade, I would never have thought that I'd be eating ice cream with friends. That's sad to say, but it's true.
Back then, I thought I would not have made any friends at all. I thought I was the lowest of the low about being too big. I thought I was a little compared to everyone else, socially and everything. And it made sense to me, and I don't know why. The closest thing I compare myself to from back then is Frankenstein. I felt like I was just gross, and I was a monster, and no one would want to hang out with me or see me or be friends with me.
And it's wild to think that it took that mental barrier to get over, to finally understand that I have friends, I have people I can talk to. People aren't just gonna turn me away, and it took so long to realize that. And I'm so happy I have all the friends, teams who've become practically family just in my life. Also, interesting fact, I am now 35 pounds heavier than I was freshman year, which to me is an accomplishment now.